What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? In today's video, we're going to be reviewing some camping stoves. Can you hear that guy? Hear that guy? There's a house sparrow that was over there in that bush. I took care of him with the old 20 gauge. Kitty. So there's actually three different kinds of stoves that are commonly used for camping. You have your solid fuel stoves, which I'm sure everybody knows about, right? Then you have your alcohol stoves, which, as we all know, ethanol lights on fire, and so those will burn for a long time, which can be pretty good for camping, and it's very lightweight most of the time. Lastly, you have your gas stoves, which is going to be the most common. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I actually don't have any alcohol stoves. I only have wood stoves, and I also have gas stoves. Biggest difference that you'll notice with gas stoves is the price. You got some $30 stoves, you got $300 stoves, but what's the actual difference? Enough shooting sparrows. Let's go ahead and grab the stoves and let's head out and do some honest testing. And just because I like you guys, I did go ahead and grab my solid fuel stove. So we'll go ahead and do a little review on this thing too. All right, let's start with the cheapest stove of all of them, and that is this Ozark Trail stove I bought in a recent video. Now this thing is, I believe, $26. This thing comes with 3 pieces. It's got your classic stand that goes underneath of your tank, your gas. It's got this adapter right here so that you can adapt this style of propane to the stove. And of course you have the stove itself, which unfolds like this, and it's got this starter right there, which does work. Oh shit, I didn't know that that would zap you. I think for our first test, we're going to see how long it takes to boil about 300 milliliters of water. There it goes. All right, it's about to boil over. Yep. There it goes. Okay. We'll consider that boiling right there. So the next stove that we got here is the MSR Pocket Rocket. This is the $50 stove. Now the thing that's different about this one is it does not have an intact lighter. At least this version doesn't. And I believe this is one of the first-ish versions. This isn't the version 2, I don't believe. Because it doesn't have an intact lighter, you do need to carry a lighter with you. That being said, I would not trust the lighter on this thing, or the little spark that comes out of this thing, because as you saw, it took quite a few tries to get this thing to go, and if that breaks, then you're kind of screwed. So you hear it and then get it going. It's kind of scary, but you get used to it after a little bit. All right, there she goes. She's going. All right. Hey, calm down, partner. So that is the MSR Pocket Rocket. This is a very cool stove. I actually use this one quite a bit. My brother has one of these too. He likes it. I like this thing. You cannot go wrong with one of these, and they're extremely lightweight. So yeah. Last and most expensive stove. This is the Jetboil Sumo. I think I've had this stove for a few years now. 5 years? I think I've had this stove for 5 years. I actually really like this stove. It's done nothing but work well for me. Jetboil does make good products. I actually don't know what this thing does. Oh, no shit. I'll be damned. Sweet. So I'm going to try to get the lighter that's actually on here to go. I've never gotten it to successfully work, but there's a first time for everything. There she goes. And you open it. All right, here, I'll prove it to you guys. Let's hurry up. See that? She's boiled. She's very blue. Yep. All right, we get it. We get the idea. All right, now it's time to get primitive. Yeah, there we go. Doesn't she just look beautiful? Now, unfortunately, style points don't do a whole lot for us today. What we need is results. Yeah, it's okay. There. Oh, it's boiling. Oh, crap. So we did actually manage to get it to work, which I honestly did not expect. It's been raining for like the past 3 days, so I honestly didn't think I could even find any dry wood. But luckily, I could get down in these logs right here and kind of scrape away some drier stuff. It is a lot more work to have solid fuel based stoves like this one right here, just because you have to constantly be giving it more fuel. Now they do make like these little cake things. They're maybe that big around that you can light and put in a stove like this that work probably a lot better than what I did. If you want to get back to like tradition, then I guess this would be something that would be pretty cool to do. But I do want to get out of the way before we end the video. So by far the fastest out of all of them was the jet boil, which is to be expected. The jet boil is really good for boiling water. So it's really good at boiling water, and then besides that, there's not too much you can really do with it. Now, of course, you could use the stove and the attachment for the stove that would allow you to use things like this pot right here. But if you do that, you do have to consider that this is a pretty heavy stove compared to something like the Pocket Rocket. Next, we'll talk about the Pocket Rocket. This thing is pretty sweet. The fact that it doesn't have a lighter is kind of a bummer, but it's not a big deal. It's not very hard to just throw a lighter in the case. So that is something you do have to consider. That is just an extra part of carrying the stove that you're gonna have to worry about. Then again, I would never go on a camping trip without a lighter. In the list of carrying things, you do have a lot of loose stuff that is easy to forget if you do carry something like the Pocket Rocket. And of course, that also applies to the cheaper stove. And lastly, let's talk about the Ozark Trail stove. Compared to the Pocket Rocket, this thing does weigh a little bit more. This piece alone weighs about the same as the Pocket Rocket with the case. The actual igniter on this does work. We'll see how long that lasts. I'm guessing it won't last very long. I see nothing wrong with this stove. It's relatively lightweight. It's very compact. The only question with this would be longevity. Just because it's a $30 stove, it can't be made with very high quality parts. Buy one of these cheaper stoves, I wouldn't go expecting it to last you a lifetime. I would definitely expect a jet boil to last you a long time. I'm not so sure about this. Just because we have it and just because we used it in the video, we'll go ahead and talk about this thing. This is fairly heavy. Solid fuel stoves are going to be heavy most of the time. Additionally, you're going to have to pack fuel more than likely, unless you are very confident that you will be able to find dry wood for the entire duration of your camping trip. Also, anytime you want to boil water or cook something, you have to start a fire and keep the fire going and actually get the fire hot enough that you can boil water or cook food. Compared to like an alcohol stove or a gas stove, I really just don't see a huge advantage to a solid fuel stove. I could see how maybe they'd be more reliable because there's less moving parts and there's less things to go wrong, but they are going to be a hassle. Go ahead and let me know what kind of stoves you guys like. I'm always curious to see what people like and why. If you have a certain stove that you'd like for me to review, go ahead and let me know and I'll see what I can do. I'll see you guys later.